Westgate. This is the second part of the tour of the reconstruction of Westgate. I'm just leaving the Westgate Fortress that I built. There's a separate video on that. And entering the Westgate town, which was covered in part 1 of the restoration of Westgate. So this entire area was built by me in one of the 2-pillar rooms. I have removed the doors that cordoned off the area, so Westgate is now completely open to the Elven Quarter. And this tour will take place today as we proceed through. So just to orient ourselves, directly ahead of me here is the inn. We have the town hall, the bar and grill, and my take on the slightly larger brew house. Alright. There are still wandering monsters that come through here, goblins occasionally, wolves, and the rat things. As I demonstrated in other videos, I have cleaned this up. Some areas I decided to pave, some not so much. Just taking a lot of resources. So if it was reasonable, I let it go. Some areas you still can't sweep or pick up. So the way my sister's map was laid out, this is the room you may recognize, spoilers ahead by the way, as right before the Elven Quarter. So here's the statue of Durin. The hole that goes down to leak shadow is under there. Occasionally it leaks out for a minute or two until it registers that Durin statue has been restored. These buildings were here. They have been restored. You saw in another video that I demonstrated how to do that as safely as I could. This is a pretty common floor plate. You can see I've restored the tray ceiling, the wood, the front. That is 100% there. That is not a damaged wall, but it just wouldn't turn. Even with hitting it with a pickaxe, it wouldn't turn the right color. So this house is restored. This is a facade, but that actually has an opening that goes around the back, which I thought was an interesting feature, if you can call it a feature. This is a facade. There's a hallway here. I decided to pave this area. Oop, missed a mushroom. It goes in back of the facade. And of course, this opens up to the front where we just were. This is the entrance to the Elven Quarter. I did block it off after all, Durin said you shouldn't go here. So we will go through that later. I know I violated Durin's directive, but I had to do it. Why don't we go through this tour of this building? Oh, I missed a spot up there. Just noticed that. I'll have to take care of that later. I kept everything that didn't look destroyed in hopes that one day we would fix it. Now that wood up there is not able to be repaired. Very disappointing. You find that all over the place. That one piece doesn't have a structural integrity at all. Looks like I left a platform up here. And interesting. Even though there's a piece below it, it put a put a, I mean, there's a piece above it. It put a floor. I got to work on that. But anyway, I did my best. I don't have those angled pieces anymore. We never did. Those are large roof pieces with wood inlay. I really wish they had those. And there's a missing corner piece too. So I kind of hacked it together. Also don't have the little wooden stairs. Oh, that would be so nice. Looks like I missed some of this building. I'll have to come back. Some days, I swear, you're working on it and you're like, oh, finally done. And then you come back later and it's like, oh, I missed that. How did I miss it? You just stare at it too long. So remember, when you're repairing buildings, if you want to remove a piece, use the steel pickaxe or lower or your fists. Do not use the quarry master. And every 2 to 3 hits, repair everything around it and look for stuff in back, top, bottom. I could not embed a... now that one I did leave. Now, these pillars right here, which we can build in two sections high with a crown and a base, is all we have. Unfortunately, you see here that they can build them in sections. We don't have that option. We also don't have that opening, that 2-part opening. We have similar items, but the arch there, the small arch, we don't have that either. And of course, I tried to replace that pillar on the side, but couldn't. Oh, I wish I had furniture. When furniture finally arrives, I've got some decorating to do. But this building is completely usable. I've repaired the tray ceiling, the railing, and like I said, I couldn't repair this stuff here easily, so I let it be, and waiting for the pieces. I just jump off here. Okay, so this room is largely repaired. I'll go do some touch-ups real quick. Now this room was a 2-pillar resource room, kind of like the ones I build my bases in, my favorite base anyway. And I decided to build a couple more buildings to expand the town. The first is a mining exchange, so a rustic building with a tall adamant roof, wood inlay. Come over here to the counter. Looks very stout, very rustic. And then, of course, full stacks of refined and unrefined metals, except for mithril. It's too rare, too expensive. But we have everything else on sale. And in the back, we have a little office, of course, with our pile of money. And our desk is the closest thing we have to a desk. I know it's a scrying table, just follow me here. There's a roof above it all. Tried to make that accent with the stout barriers on top of, it's the stout barriers that are actually carrying the load of the roof. They're embedded into the walls as well as on top of the walls. And by walls, I mean the pillars and walls in the room. But that looks like a heck of a sight. Look at that. Oh, there's no bars of gold here either because they're so rare. I mean, I only have a couple handfuls, since you can't make them. I also included all the mine stuff, salt, coal, and resin. So we are open for business. If we go forward, go to a trading post. This is for general stuff. I have not populated this yet, but if you want to buy a set of armor or weapon We're going to have materials here, just general materials stocked up. You can come in, make your purchases. Now that's a facade. Figure a shopkeeper lived there. Use the rough stone pillars and rough stone. I built an animal pen. You know, lots of us read in the notes that some of the animals were tameable. I'm really hoping that actually happens. But you can get some of the pig things or whatever and put them in here. Pig boar things. I thought this looked like a nice animal pen. So the animals would live in there, and then of course at the trading post you could purchase animals. And I've kept up with the facades just to make sure to fill in the gaps so it's not blank. Now this is the back entrance for the saloon. I'll show you the saloon next. It is a large building. It takes up about a quarter of this area. Here's another facade. This would be the saloon keeper's house. Looks very stout, very dwarf-like. All right, so in here, again, you'll have to imagine we have tables and gambling and drinking, and we have a full bar. Of course, you have to imagine, because we don't have furniture yet, Debs. You're killing us here. Large open space, very grand hall. You could just hear the echoing of the drinking and the eating and the clanking of glasses and the gambling and the laughter. There is an upstairs and balcony. I'll show you that in a minute. Now back through here is a kitchen. You have all your accoutrements, your food storage, small ready taps for brew, and of course just a couple of tables and work areas to prepare things. Just go with it. I know those are workbenches, but I have a limited amount of choices. So I tried to incorporate the pillars as much as possible, making them less point of focus in the room. I also built these doorways to be very triangular. I thought it looked interesting. Large, grand areas. And of course the upstairs balcony, which I'll show you up there in a minute. Alright, so we have a set of stairs. We'll go up to a nice wood area. I was going to put lounge furniture up here and stuff like that, and of course if you needed a room for a short or long stay, quick room to be rented here. Nice balcony overlooking the festivities. Another sitting area, and another room for rent. All the rooms up here have full wood paneling. I wish we had a wood panel that was flat without that bottom base and the base separate. That would be nice. And all the roofs are stout, tied into the pillars, so they are solid. I did that line there instead of carrying it all the way over to continue the effect to look like it's another floor up there, even though there's really not. This room is 2.5 floors high. Wish we had these pillars. We didn't have to build in, full. We can build in sections. That would be nice. Next, we have a bank. This is the bank. Now, I am going to be forthright. Have read all the Harry Potter books. I know some people say they're for kids, but I read them to my children when they were younger. Of course, my daughter's in her 30s now, and is a school teacher for English. But she got a love of books and reading from, of course, Harry Potter, and so very, very popular books. So I mirrored this after Gringotts Bank as best I could. So you'll notice that there's stands for your dwarves, not goblins now, dwarves to sit at. And they got piles of money on the floor, which I thought was cool. You have a place here to do your writing and paperwork, as everyone knows, dwarves are exact. They have to have a ledger. And once you present your key, a dwarf would escort you in the back. And there is 2 vault areas. This is Vault 2. And in Vault 2, there are 5 smaller vaults. All of this has double reinforced ceiling. And of course, in each one of these is a pile of treasure. Some bigger than others. Yes, I had to go collect treasure to make this video. From all of my games. I guess technically now I could make money. I can make coins. And this vault has 4. Full roofs in there. Oh, they got a big pile of treasure. Oh, missing a piece. I wish I could go through one video without finding a missing piece. Anyway, so this is the bank, because every town needs a bank. So bank, mining exchange, a trading post, a animal pen or corral, and a saloon. And last but not least, we have this, which is an outside pub where you can buy a beer and buy a souvenir for the museum. We have an outdoor museum, and I put these in as little stools, even though you technically can't sit in the game. You can sit here, drink your beer. Oh, look, I've got DoorDash. Alright. Always get interrupted. And of course, you can take the tour. And the museum tour, which is being interrupted by goblins, is a tour of every craftable item I have found in the game, which I made one single one of, every one of those, for here. And then I mounted them in these frames. And so if you stand back, you'll see that I put a roof over a couple of pillars, but I built a completely flat wall using the side of the pillars. I did a nice trim at the bottom, a raised dais to put up the armor sets, and then of course your shields and weapons and crafting items. I also put the lights facing on the inside so it glinted off of the metal. I thought it made a nice effect. That's a good view. Okay, so that's the early Tier 1 and Tier 2. This is Tier 3. I know there's some Tier 1 in here, but I ran out of room. There's Tier 4. and tier 5 and 6. Now I have 4 open spots at the top. I'm hoping they add the missing weapons, helmets, and armor. I'll be more than happy to make them and put them up here. All of this equipment is new. And I put Durin's axe in the spear of destiny. Oh wait, that's Kung Fu Panda thing. Put the spear at the top and the armor at the bottom. So this is an area that I have completed. We'll continue the tour. Now most of what's left over here. Oh, Navi Great Forge is under siege. I'm sure Navi will be just fine. See, I want to capture these pig things and bring them to the pen. Oh. So this is just a hallway. Oh. Never pass up dinner when you can. In the old days, not to date myself, you eat when you can, sleep when you can, go to the bathroom when you can, and smoke them if you got them. Yeah, they gifted us with a lot of hallways here. And I didn't bother repaving all of these. I cleaned them up as best I could, but it's a lot of resources for no real gain whatsoever. Some of that dirt came back. That's weird. Okay, this is the room I affectionately call the Cranberry House. It has 2 buildings in it. One of them's down in a ravine. My sister's world got very lucky with the number of patches she's gotten here. So I'm going to hop down into the water and we're going to take a quick sleep to get it to be daytime so you can see. So look how lucky she got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we're not done yet. 10, 11, 12, 13 patches. Never seen it. Now, this is the 7th world I've played in, and I'm telling you right now, I've never seen that many. Did restore this building pretty well. Again, repaired all the wood, ceiling, finished off the tray ceiling. Removed and restored. I mean, you can see some of the differences, but I removed and restored the damaged parts as best I could without collapsing the entire building. Yeah, it looks like a little damage up there I missed. And we camped out here for a while. Now, during a combat, I destroyed some of the stairs by accident. So I had to rebuild these. And of course we built a bridge to the rest of the room. Now there is an upper house here. Hey devs, really would like these smaller stairs, by the way. Very useful. Now this house was embedded in a coal mine, but it has been restored, minus the parts that can't be restored. Or we don't have parts for it, like the thatch roof over the adamant roof. And I was very scared to remove that last piece. I had saved the game, tried to remove it, the building collapsed, and I'm just like, yep, I'll leave it. That's fine. Now we did repair all the outside balcony area. Call it the porch. This is the same model that we just saw downstairs, except it's empty. So repaired it in much the same way that you can see the adamant. Oh, looks like I lost a piece there. I'll have to repair that later. That was repaired. So maybe I'll repair a couple more floors. Maybe I'll add a small building or two, but right now this is pretty much ready for occupation. Oh, it really annoys me. Every game has this statue. Every game isn't allowed to be repaired. Very, very annoying. There's a piece of it on the ground. I'm like, you know, I repaired all the other statues. Why can't I repair that one? Wouldn't mind the ability to put down statues of Durin or Ole. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Tolkien god that created the dwarves. Wouldn't mind being able to build a church or whatever there. Somewhere in one of these rooms. Yeah, I guess I'll repair a couple of these floors. I normally don't carry this torch on my back, and I have to say, it does highlight. It looks a lot better when you can't. It's in the dark. I didn't see that. All these pig boar monsters. Not that I'm complaining. Hide and eat. It's all good. Man, you just come through here and get a ton of meat. Yeah, I really like how the museum turned out. And the fact that this was here and it was very little damage. Put a little bar out there and you got the cake thing. Now, I had suggested they make this an item that, like a forge, can draw beer from any of the beer kegs within the radius of your hearth. And so you could get one of these in singles and then join them all together as a serving area for any of the beer in your fortress or base. That would just be really cool. I'll get one last look at the mining exchange. Wanted it to look rustic, but oh, look at that. Lots of worlds have been plundered for me to get that much materials. And I will end this video right in front of the Elven Quarter. That's be where next we go. I had so many resource worlds where I went and cut down elven wood. I did not cut down all of the trees. Though the bears seem to knock them down pretty regularly. Anyway, so thank you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this video with the restoration of Moria starting at Westgate. Part 2. If you like it, click the up arrow and leave a comment if you'd like to see me do a video on anything. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.